Greetings, loyal minions, beautiful humans. It's everyone's favourite time. No, I was going to say favourite time of year, but now we have Soul Exchange, we have Outfitter, we have Hero Coach. It's everyone's fourth favourite time of the year. It's Fated Summons time. We all know the list has been out for a little while. I didn't want to rush a video out, so that's why it's taken a little bit of time to put together the information. A few disclaimers and then we'll get straight into it. By the way, welcome back to the SciShow, the #1 ranked YouTube channel for people aged between the ages of 2 and 92. No, we'll go to 102 just in case there's some really oldies who enjoy eating fairy floss, or maybe it's called candied sugar, possibly in other parts of the world. If that's you, I appreciate you. A couple of very quick things before we get into the heroes. Big shout out to Burks G and Eliot33 for always getting the fantastic information for us, putting together these fantastic graphics so we can make these videos. Really appreciate you. Just a quick rundown, I'll just go through each hero quickly and then I'll make it very clear as to whether I would pick them overall, keeping in mind these heroes are not going to be top tier, but I'm not going to focus on how low their stats are. We know that's how it's going to be in Fated Summons, so I'm just going to focus on what they do and how you may use them to improve your roster. And as I said, there'll be a very clear way of knowing whether I will or won't take a hero. Having said that, every hero can be useful depending on the roster, depending on your scenario, and depending on your play style. One thing I will note that a few people have been sort of overlooking is the importance of a costume. So I'll generally mention the ones that have a costume, but there may be, I feel like, and I'll just give you a very quick example of the difference between a hero that has a costume and the hero that doesn't. So I've got a couple here. I've got Zakina, an Underworld hero with no costume, 20 emblems, level 85, 965 power. We compare that to Xenolfod, who does have a costume. His 1193, so it's 230-ish power different. That's pretty much 25% extra. So straight up, regardless of the skills, I will give preference to heroes that have a costume available. Now, please note, you do not get the costume with Fated Summon, but the costumes that are available relatively either now or relatively soon at the Outfitter, to me, means the hero is far more valuable than a hero that might be slightly better based on the base character, but doesn't have a costume and won't have a costume for who knows how long available in the Outfitter. So keep that in mind. Enough rambling, let's get straight into it. First up, we have Octros, an absolute beastly looking thing. I will just quickly mention there may be a couple of hero cards that haven't been fully updated. I have gone to every effort to get updated. A huge shout out to Green Eyes, who spends countless hours updating these hero cards because, there's none available in game easily enough. So huge shout out. I really appreciate it. Onto the card. 180% damage to all enemies, additional 20% for each fire shield on the board, up to 340%, running at average speed. All enemies get minus 24% attack. So it's actually a decent hit all. It is a bit variable. I believe with his costume, that gets up to about 440%. So it can be quite a big hit. Again, it doesn't get the costume. Has Fighter Revive as the class. So pretty good. On to the important bit. Will I be taking this hero? Now, keep in mind, just because I take them doesn't mean they're the best hero. It would be a yes or no, but, there's certain heroes, and I'll say at the end which ones I feel are the absolute top tier ones to get. But Summon Tinder is here to help us. So imagine Octros's profile. Look, I'm looking at this thinking his horns are quite girthy, but not very long. So that's a little bit of a downer. But then with his multiple ticklers, I'm on the borderline. Multiple ticklers, likes costumes. I think we're in for a good time. I'm swiping right. Next up, we have Lugaid. Runs at slow speed, removes all status effects and stacks from himself. Goes into ghost mode for 4 turns. Basically gives your team some extra defense up and a little bit of boosted health. Yeah, not much else to say. Costume not available till 2026. And look, I mean, he's got a really big sword and years of experience using it, but will most likely just spend all night talking your ear off and then ghost you. Exira runs at average speed. All enemies receive 237 water damage, an increase of 33 damage per ice shield on the board over 3 turns. It's up to 633 damage with maximum tiles. It's uncleansable for fire. Ice enemies are immune to it. So look, it's decent enough damage over time if you've got enough tiles. Pair it with someone who increases that damage over time. Put them in an ailment team. Yeah, she looks cool, I guess. On the plus side, she's always going to be wet, but you go to grab a hair, it's likely to strangle you. Zakina, with his swift stingers running at fast speed, deals 300% damage to the target, 450% damage to a random different enemy, extra damage if the target is dark, and the target of the second hit gets minus 56% defense for 3 turns. So absolute huge defense down, great for Titans. Costume coming December 2025. And look, his sting is a little bit too swift, as his special says, but doesn't matter where you sit, you're bound to be pleased. Swiping right. Xenolfod, running at average speed, recovers 40% health for all allies, great heal, increases the mana of all allies by 10%, alters the power of all dark shields on the board, so it gives them more mana when attacking or less mana when defending. Look, really good hero. Does have a costume available, which makes him fantastic. Speeds up your slows, so pair him with someone like a Ludwig, any other slows, it doesn't matter. The heal percent always stays valid. The most annoying thing with Zonal was that he was absolutely fantastic hero. He was one of those heroes that got a nerf, and he's just never quite been put back to how he was, but still a fantastic hero, and definitely in the top 3 of this Fated Summons group. So look, he's very old. He's likely to just die whilst you're trying to Netflix and chill, but his staff has multiple exciting looking fittings, so swiping right. Also, before I forget, just a quick mention of the family bonus for each one. The Underworld family, which we just seen, has a chance to spawn Underworld gems that do 50 damage per turn, so just a small little bonus there. With the 2023 Hero of the Month family, we are getting a small defense boost for 2 or more, and 2 or more also means that the element link will affect everyone, not just the intended color. So on to Skargrimmar. A bit of a troll-looking dude, runs at average speed, 345% damage to the target and nearby enemies, so hit 3, reduces the mana of the target and nearby enemies by 20%, which is handy. Target and nearby enemies get minus 35% accuracy for 4 turns, so he's helping your team stay alive by giving that accuracy down. And the element link gives 10% mana generation for all fire allies for 4 turns. Can't be dispelled, and as I said, if you've got 2 or more of the Hero of the Months from 2023, that will affect everyone. So good passive as well of resisting silence. So his mana reducer, put him in the kill 3 stack. Look, he's desperate, so you can probably use him to boost your ego until you're done. But overall, basically just a Temu Shrek, both in looks and his equipment. Swiping left. Synesia, Fury of Ash, running at average speed, deals 240% damage to all enemies. However, with the passive, that actually jumps up to 270%. So it's not terrible. Reduces healing by 60% for 3 turns. All enemies receive 300 bleed damage over 2 turns, so not a heap. Against ice characters, it's uncleansable and lasts a little bit longer, so great if you're going against an ice team. And the element link with 10% mana generation for all nature. So decent hit all. You could pop on a kill team. Reduces healing, damage over time, does a little bit of everything. While she does carry around a lot of toys in her bag, I don't want that hand anywhere near my tool. Swiping left for safety. Oh, good old horseman Ariax. Runs at slow speed, deals 380% damage to the target, so quite a big hit. The attack chains through all of the enemies who are adjacent to any hit enemy. Problem with that is, as soon as someone's dead, you might only be hitting one or two. Yeah, unfortunately, the target receives 374 frost damage over 2 turns, so a little bit of extra damage. Element Link gives 10% mana generation to all ice allies. Does have the Resist Silence passive, which is quite good. As I said, a heavy hit all, but because it doesn't hit everyone as soon as someone's dead, yeah, I wouldn't go with this guy. Basically, he may be hung like a horse, but he is actually a horse, so, you know, no bestiality here on my channel. Swiping left. Ither runs it very fast. I think, unfortunately, with the Hero of the Month being a little bit outdated, even when they, or a little bit understated when they first come out, when they appear in these sort of events, they're just a little bit underwhelming. So Ither runs it very fast, is like Ruffian in a way, but just not quite as good for anyone who's taken Ruffian in any recent sort of Fated Summons or Soul Exchange. Steals all dispellable buffs from the target and randomly distributes them on allies. Steals 35% mana from the target and distributes it to allies. All allies get 30% attack for 2 turns, and Element Link gives the mana generation. So Mana Stealer, attack boost, could be used for Titans for the attack boost, but really just isn't doing enough. She does look like she knows how to handle a blade, so she's got that running for her, but look, she also seems like she's possibly around 3,000 years old and probably a little bit dusty downstairs. Swiping left for me. On to the last Hero of the Month. Uthragan runs it very fast as well, deals 150% damage to the target. Target and nearby enemies receive 573 poison damage over 3 turns. Caster absorbs 100% of dealt poison damage as health. And the Element Link again gives 10% mana to all dark heroes, which can't be dispelled. So again, any damage over time, you can pop in a team that accentuates that to just keep getting those ailments going. He is very fast, has survivability. Look, he'd probably accessorize well with my bright pink handbag, but it doesn't matter what part of himself he sticks in you, you're probably going to catch something poisonous. Swiping left. Probably into the best family available now. The Musketeers were all quite handy when they came out. Their family bonus is quite good, provides cover and lowers the damage taken. So they basically take damage for the other people in the team, and it lowers the damage they're taking. But because they are a little outdated now, you do need to be careful with that, taking the damage, as they can't really sort of take too much damage or else they'll be dead. Cardinal Richelieu, I actually love this guy when he came out. Runs at average speed, deals 330% damage to all enemies, summons a Fiend for all enemies, hits with 45% attack every turn, but the Fiend also absorbs healing, disappears when it's equal to 30% of its target's max health, so reasonably decent Fiend. But the big thing is that they actually steal buffs from the enemy at the end of each turn and gives it to a character on your own team. So he's actually a pretty good hit-all, steals buffs, has Fiends. Look, he does dress in a cape and a hood sort of thing happening there. Gives me real Stage 5 Klinger vibes. But you know what they say about French lovers, I'm swiping right. Athos, I believe, was one of the first Musketeers, and due to that, his stats are a little lower. Especially with the defense, we can see 747 really doesn't help him out when he's taking the damage for other enemies, for other heroes when he's doing the cover. Runs it very fast, destroys all minions from the target. This effect damages mega minions, deals 470% damage to the target. With that lower attack, though, the caster gets 20% mana for each destroyed minion, which helps him charge up again. The attack bypasses defensive buffs. The caster regenerates 306 HP over 2 turns. Look, it's very fast, gives a hit, destroys minions, so he's a bit of a semi-sniper. I'd be very borderline. So, look, he does hit fast and hard, but then no one likes a one-pump chump. Swiping left. Porthos, also one of the first musketeers, so reasonably low stats. Runs at slow speed, deals 380% damage to all enemies, so it's quite a big hit, as opposed to the horse we just seen, who doesn't hit all as soon as someone's dead because it only chains through. Alters the power of all ice shields on the board. When an attacking hero casts the special, it gives plus 64% attack. When a defending hero casts, it's minus 57% attack. The caster regenerates 918 HP over 6 turns, so he looks after himself, no one else. Running it slow, that doesn't really help much. Deals extra damage against fire, so it is quite a big hit all, possibly using in Rush War. Tile attack up means it's good for Titans and can come in handy in certain situations. Well, he does look like he could last all night, so that's a bonus. He'll drink you under the table. That's actually really handy because I'd need to be more than drunk before I'd let him anywhere near me, even with a glove on. Swiping left. Constance, a sort of newer member of the Musketeers. We can see in the power there, a lot higher than the other couple we've looked at. Running at fast speed, deals 230% damage to all enemies. All allies get 45% chance to dodge special skills for 3 turns. Each dodge damages the attacker for 100. So, fast hit all can work in a kill team. It is a little bit of a small hit, but it's fast. You get some defense down on. But I also like it because not only does she have the rogue dodge, but also the support dodge. So really great at keeping the team alive. Well, I have a feeling her name used to actually be Colin, but she does appear to enjoy Skinny Blade. So perfect for me. I'm actually swiping right. On to Aramis. Again, one of the early ones, stats a touch lower than others in the Musketeer family, but he was the OP, he was the OG, the OP tank at the time. He was just fantastic. So, runs at average speed, deals 375% damage to the target and nearby enemies, boosts all allies' health by 30% of that damage, which is great. Caster gets plus 30% defense for 3 turns, and the big one, all allies are immune to new status ailments for 3 turns, which can't be dispelled. So at first, that looks like it's great against Bernadette, which it is. It's just the one thing I want to mention about that. If you're taking him against Bernadette and you're getting the tiles, then it means you could have just had a kill team of purple and you're going to get the tiles. But, you know, depending on your roster, you can just put him in as an off color that just gives a little bit of protection against Bernadette. So still very useful in that sense. I love hitter healers. The ailment protection and non-dispellable. When he was a tank, he was just absolutely OP, so it could still be used in that way, again, if you're at the level where he is someone you would be looking at. He does look like he's got a few red flags. He's such a charmer, so he's probably not going to be overly faithful, but with so many red flags, you know we just can't resist, so I'm swiping right. On to the final family, the Magic family. The family bonus is actually really good. Chance for positive mana when the special is cast, and because that's cast on the first time, very, very fast, that can be really, really useful. So they do work on magic charge speed, which is slightly different. The first one is quickly and very fast. The second one is basically slow. Nadezhda, on that first one, she's giving a tiny little bit of burn damage over a couple of turns, and she gives herself a revive that if she's defeated for the next 2 turns, she revives. But running at that very quick speed, like, it just seems bizarre. You're the first one to fire, and then you're wasting the chance. I mean, I know you can refire it over and over again. Second mana charge, she's giving each defeated ally a 50% chance to get revived with 40% HP. All allies regenerate 714 HP over 3 turns, reasonably low. All allies reduce received damage. So, yep, very fast damage over time. Slow reviver. I just think there's better options out there with Heimdall costume, Mother North costume, etc., etc. But if you don't have a reviver, then it could be up your alley. And look, whilst I do like me a hot librarian type, and I'd love to know if the carpet matches the drapes, I'm just not sure I want her sliding that book into my shelf. I'm swiping left. Telonius, on his first charge, all enemies take 50% increased damage from status ailments for 3 turns. All enemies receive 357 poison damage over 3 turns. So he's giving the poison damage. He's also increasing that damage that people are taking. So you compare with people like Untold Tales 2 heroes. Dagger's a great one. He has a couple of different ailments. Ferris, who was in the recent Soul Exchange. So if you have some of those heroes, he can really increase that damage a lot. And because he charges so quickly, especially those two, Dagger and Ferris, being in the same color, you can generally make sure you take advantage of it. On his second charge, he's recovering 75% health for the caster and nearby, so huge heal, only to 3. And the caster and nearby allies are immune to damage from status ailments for 5 turns. Again, someone I'm probably borderline. If you've got the exact right heroes, he's fantastic. But overall, yeah, look, I'd say he's probably a bit soft and squishy, so he'd be a great hugger. He's got his book of poetry there, so he's probably an emotional type. Fantastic if you want to have long walks along the beach, under the moonlight, hearing some poetry. But just by the look of him, I'm saying he probably needs a few too many pills to be performing as well as I want him to. I'm swiping left. Miller riding along on her MacGyver-looking broomstick contraption. First charge, boost health of all allies by 400. All allies get plus 40% defense against special skills for 3 turns. I think that's quite useful at very fast. Like, just to have someone so quick doing the boost. The boost isn't tiny considering it's very fast, but it is small overall. But again, at that speed, it's not too bad. On the second charge, reduces max health of enemies by 800, and all enemies get minus 54% defense against special skills for 5 turns. So I think at slow speed, that's not doing enough, but at very fast speed with the health boost, good support at very fast. Again, reasonably borderline, but I just feel her very fast boost can be a lot more useful than other heroes. So yeah, some might say that needing to charge her up twice is just far too much work for one man. But considering she does her best work with only a tiny little bit of effort and quite quickly, I'm thinking she's a keeper. I'm swiping right. Getting down to the wire, we're looking at Vaishali. First charge is regenerating 594 HP over 3 turns. So whilst very fast, it is such a small amount to regenerate. And as we know, they can be dispelled, or the slash attacks will just get rid of it now. All allies get plus 30% attack for 3 turns and a cleanse from all allies. So that's the best part of that, is that very fast cleanse. Can be extremely useful against certain heroes. On the second charge, dispels bust from all enemies. All enemies receive 1290 sand damage over 5 turns, and all enemies get minus 45% attack for 5 turns. So again, very borderline. The very fast cleanse is extremely useful. So if you're lacking that, I'd say, it's a great hero to get into that. In general, look, she's got a little bit of, she likes playing both sides. She's got the offense and defense, if you know what I mean. But I'm just a little concerned over what she's hiding in those oversized pants. So at the moment, I'm swiping left. Up last, we have Becky. A lot of things going on here. Also has the good passive of mana down stack on special, which is very handy. On the first charge, she deals 350% damage to the target. Each time the target activates their special skill during 3 turns, mana of all enemies is reduced by 15%. It's a little bit of mana control at very fast speed, but it's so unreliable. Generally, a hero's at maximum, they're going to go off once. That once can be useful, but yeah, it's again a slightly strange skill. Second charge increases the mana of all allies by 10%, which is great. Any free mana is good. And for the next 5 turns, this character deals 250% damage to all enemies each time any other ally casts their special skill. So it's a bit of a Guardian Hippo type, Dark Feather sort of scenario. But again, at that slow speed, it is a mana boost, but probably just not quite doing enough. Does have a lot going on. So again, all these heroes can be useful in their own way. And look, based on the look of it, I don't think I can comment from a Summon Tinder sort of point of view. Yeah, I'm not going there. So I've got to swipe left. That brings us to the end of another episode of Fated Summons. These heroes come out on July 21st, so you've got plenty of time to make your choice. If you're getting close to a pick from the current Fated Summons, I'd say as long as you have Ludwig, there's a couple of others there, Hulda, a couple of others that might be worth taking, but if you have those ones and you're close to a pick, I'd say you're better off to wait until July 21st for the new ones, whilst the Summon Tinder, swipe left, swipe right was just a bit of fun. It is an indication of who I think the better heroes are, but keep in mind, every hero can give you something you need if they're fitting your roster. So someone like a Vishali with that very fast cleanse, even some of the people at the top level would be taking Vishali if they don't have it purely for that fast cleanse because they can use it in certain scenarios. I feel for other people in the game at different levels, that's not going to be useful. Certain people at top level can just take heroes for one specific enemy. So that's my opinion. I think there's a few standouts. I've got them circled with my perfectly drawn circles. Adaramus, Zonalford, and Cardinal Richelieu. I think they all offer something quite unique still. Well, not unique in every case, but Zonalford with the 40% heal, Richelieu with the buff stealing fiends and a decent hit, and Adaramus with his undispellable ailment protection. So there we have it. I hope that was useful and also a little entertaining at the same time. As always, I love your feedback. I'm happy to make these videos however you want to see them. So if you want more information, let me know. If you want less information, let me know. I will also try and do a testing video where we see all these heroes in action, so keep an eye out for that. Let me know if you want to see that. As always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, gently caress the subscribe button, caress it to the left, caress it to the right. Give your kitty a scritch for me. Have a bloody good one.